Well, I got lucky. flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Today's date.
Okay. We all have our lovely, beautiful speakers on.
So okay, so these are on, right? All right, everybody, welcome to the Monday, February 9th, 2026 Jackson Township Planning Board meeting. This meeting's been appropriately noticed and all the proper forums and places for the Open Public Meetings Act to be compliant. Leave it to Madam Chairwoman.
All right, we'll have the roll call, please.
Mr. Brezzi?
Here.
Mr. Marzo?
Here.
Mr. Heller?
Here.
Mr. Parks? Mr. Rogers?
Here.
Ms. Santoro?
Here.
Mr. Tremor? Mr. Weingart? Mr. Sullivan?
Here.
And Dr. Campbell.
Here. We'll have a motion for payment of the voucher for the recording secretary for the February 9th meeting, please.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Brezzi?
Yes.
Mr. Marzo?
Yes.
Mr. Heller?
Yes.
Mr. Parks?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Ms. Santoro?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan?
Yes.
And Dr. Campbell.
Yes. We'll have the approval for the minutes of January 12th reorganization meeting. Roll call, please. Oh, first we'll have the
Motion.
So moved.
motion.
Second, DeMarzo.
Mr. Brezzi?
Yes.
Mr. Marzo?
Yes.
Mr. Heller?
Yes.
Mr. Parks?
Yes.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes.
Ms. Santoro?
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan.
Yes.
And we have two resolutions this evening that we're voting on.
Yes. Resolution 2026-03 of the Planning Board of the Township of Jackson, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, granting preliminary and final major site plan approval with one bulk variance and 5 design waivers for a professional office building for 1154 East Veterans Highway Holding LLC, Block 21301, Lot 12. Eligible to vote are Mr. Marzo, Mr. Sullivan, and Dr. Campbell.
I'll make a motion to approve. Sullivan?
Second, DeMarzo.
Mr. Marzo,
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan,
Yes.
Dr. Campbell.
Yes.
Resolution 2026-04 of the Planning Board of the Township of Jackson, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, confirming the election of officers, appointment of professionals, selection of personnel, the appointment of the board's recording secretary, and setting the 2026 meeting dates. Everyone is eligible to vote except for
here.
Dr. Campbell. Yep.
Make a motion to approve. Sullivan?
Second,
Mr. Brezzi,
yes.
Mr. Marzo,
Yes.
Mr. Heller,
Yes.
Mr. Parks,
Yes.
Mr. Rogers,
Yes.
Ms. Santoro,
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan.
Yes.
We have some changes to the agenda schedule that I will read. I think we'll just vote on them all at the same time. Application for block 1102, lots 2402 for WB Ocean 26 LLC is carried from January 26th to February 23rd with no notice required. Application for block 8901, lot 5, additional lot 4 for Josefheim Misberg is carried from March 9th to March 23rd with notice required. Application for block 8901, lot 19 for Josefheim Misberg is carried from March the 9th to March the 23rd, 2026 with notice required. Application for block 20901, lot 15 for Hope Commercial Holdings is carried from April 6th to April 26th, from April 6th, 2026 to March 9th, 2026 with no notice required. Is there anyone who has a question on any of these? Then we'll ask for a motion, please.
I'd like to make a motion for the requested moving of application. Sullivan?
So move. Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We're going to try something a little new tonight, and I hope you gentlemen don't mind, but I thought it would be nice, since it's our first application meeting of the year, for our professionals to identify themselves and tell us what they do here. And we'll start with our attorney. Okay.
My name is Bob Shea. I'm the board attorney. I make the judgment calls, legal decisions, sometimes jurisdictional calls in conjunction with the zoning officer and the board planner. And that pretty much just sums it up. And I handle the litigations on the outside.
Okay. Mr. Peters. We know who you are, but I thought maybe nice for the public to know who you are.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Ernie Peters. I'm the board's planner. So once an application is deemed complete, our office reviews the applications for conformance with the zoning and land use portions of the ordinance. We're not the engineer, so we don't do the engineering stuff. That's a nice-looking gentleman next to me, Mr. Clay. But as it relates to the submission of applications, once they're deemed complete, we go through and make sure they're in the correct zone, that the use is correct, because the planning board can only review and approve conforming uses or conforming conditional uses. If they're not a permitted use or they don't meet all the standards of a conditional use, they go to the zoning board of adjustment for a D or use type variance. Our office prepares reports to that effect. We also provide comments for the board on landscape, lighting, environmental, and traffic concerns.
Anything new this year we should know?
Anything new?
No, anything that's come down the pike that's changed for us? I'd happily if you said no.
Not yet. I suspect during calendar year 2026 that some of the recommendations that were made in the 2025 master plan prepared by this board would be brought forward by the governing body during the course of the year to implement some of those master plan recommendations. If that were to occur, draft ordinance would be prepared by the township, either the governing body, the attorney, my office, the clerk. It would be presented through the governing body at what's known as first reading or introduction. It would then be referred back to this board for consistency with the master plan. And then a recommendation of the planning board would be made back to the governing body. Then the governing body would have a public hearing or a second reading of the ordinance, at which point the public could comment on that proposed ordinance, and then subsequently the ordinance could be adopted by the governing body, and we would have a new law in effect that would reconcile some of the recommendations that were made in the 2025 master plan.
Thank you. Mr. Clay, I'm going to skip you for a minute and go right to Ms. Morrison. I'm saving the best for last. He also has the most to say.
Well, what happens is I process applications as they come in. Once they're complete on the administrative side, I'll forward them to the professionals for their review. Then in coordination, usually with Doug's office, we'll get them scheduled for a meeting. I usually try to plan ahead. Like tonight, I handed out everything to everyone for the meeting in 2 weeks. So you already have everything. And then tomorrow I'll have to update the website for the next meeting already, get the resolutions signed and sealed and sent out to everyone. And I also just take care of, day-to-day activities in the office for the planning board, phones, emails, people coming in. So.
You just did an interesting thing for the first time on putting something on the webpage. Could you explain what you did?
Sure. What we do is I'm responsible for just the planning board section of the site. So I'll update the meeting dates and the names of the members. And I also put up, it's under current applicant related documents is where everything is tonight for the current meeting. So what happens is I'll take those things, I won't take them down off of the website. They'll just be down off of that current applicant related. They're still going to be on the in the document center, but they won't be on that page. What'll be on the page tomorrow is the stuff coming up for the next meeting.
And we have a new online notification system with a new vendor,
For the note of, oh, yes, for Jersey Shore Online.
Jersey
Yes.
Shore
So
Online.
like what I'll publish, I'll have the resolution with the reorg details. That'll be on there tomorrow. Or,
And
you
that's
know, I'll
good,
put
so
it
that the
tomorrow.
public will know that they can
Yes.
go
And
to
there is
that
a spot
site.
on the website now, on the front. It's right on the homepage. If you go down, I think it's on the bottom, it has legal notices, and you can click, and it has spots for the council, for the zoning board, for the planning board, and you can just click on them. look
And
'em up.
speaking of the website, and I know he's shy, but I think it's important that people understand that what Anthony does and who he is.
Very shy. Anthony Jacob, IT department, responsible for streaming meetings. That's all I got.
And we're very grateful for that. Okay. So the reason I saved Mr. Clee till last is because he has a couple of issues he wants to bring up, and I thought we'd get the shorter ones finished first.
I
Mr. Clee.
appreciate it. Thank you, Madam Chair. Douglas Clay, I've been functioning as the board engineer pretty much all of the 90s. There was a little political hookup between 2000 and 2005, but in 2005, the board was gracious enough to appoint me again. So it's been a wonderful run, and I can initially thank the board for the support. I function as the board engineer. Laurel bringing an application, handed to me. I'm pretty much the first line in this machine, and there's 4 pistons, and Laura is, I'll call the supercharger in the whole thing, because nothing really moves without her. But after it gets to me, I'll deem it for, or review it for technical completeness, make sure all the T's and I's are dotted. If something's missing, and I don't think it's that germane to the application, because there's a lot of things that need to be submitted that may not be, applicable to a certain application. So I'll look at that and eventually get to a point where I'll deem it complete, write a report, and the engineering report, you've seen them that I've put out, and between Laura with the available meeting dates, we'll schedule and deem it complete, and it'll get to a meeting. As Chairman mentioned, I kind of do have the floor. So a couple of things that has come up over the years. One of the first issues is stormwater, specifically stormwater basins and the pipes that carry the stormwater to the basin. And I'm really just talking about single-family residential. The private, they're responsible for it. The multifamily, we have a property manager that's responsible for it. But the private residential subdivisions, individual lots, historically, developers pay a fee, and the town gets the lot and the maintenance responsibilities. And moving forward, I think it would be our recommendation that we form a homeowners association. And they're responsible for the maintenance. When something goes wrong with it, we have somebody on the hook that can do it other than the taxpayers. Because the regulations that the state is putting on us, they have state workers that come down, will come to the town hall, view your records to make sure that all the maintenance and all these basins are being done. It's the town's responsibility to go to the private basins and the property owners and make sure they're doing it. So just burn that would argue with the position that we don't want to do. I don't know if this needs an ordinance to be adopted. To spell it out. I know Tom Sugar has one. I talked to Mr. Shea, but if you need an ordinance, fine, we can do an ordinance. But in my policy moving forward, HOA. That's the end of that.
I think
We have that in the master plan. I don't know, do you have a specific number of homes that would need to be built? I don't remember, Dr. Campbell.
I can't remember if it was 10 or 25, but I do remember
I
that
think
we
it was
did.
10. I know it's a lower number that we recommended an HOA for that, but do you think if it's less than that?
It might even be lower.
Yeah.
If you're doing a development and you need a basin for your development, you got an HOA.
So
It'll be
even
minor
maybe
versus-
five homes.
I think the question is,
If there's a,
if Public Works doesn't want to take care of it, and we figured out how to maintain them cost effectively. Remember, we want. But I think it requires, I think the master plan document hit the nail on the head in terms of we should take a look at it. And as Doug and Bobby have indicated, there are other towns that have specificity as it relates to the number of lots. Here in Jackson, if we get the input of Public Works or the governing body that says these things aren't cost effective, we can't figure out a way to keep them working in a cost effective manner, it's almost like you bring in 15 more people into town, do you need another school classroom? Do you need another police officer? Do you need another guy cutting lawns in the summer for detention basins? So at the end of the day, someone does a cost benefits analysis and says, the town don't want to take over any of them.
Yeah.
That could be the answer.
So then what we'll do is we'll rely on Mr. Klee and Mr. Shea to get together and discuss what we need to do to propose to the council.
And I'm happy to do it, but moving forward, anybody that comes in with a single family residential subdivision and they have a drainage basin, it'll be my recommendation that that's dedicated to the HO, an HOA is formed and that basin is dedicated to it. And if they want to fight that, the applicant wants to fight it, let them fight.
Can we impose such a condition without having an ordinance in place?
I'm sorry?
Can we impose such a condition on an applicant if there is no ordinance in place for that?
Yes, we can.
We can.
I would say, you know,
And we
there's
can,
nothing
and
to
we
say-
have. I believe we have required certain groups to have homeowners associations. What we're saying now is maybe we need to lower the number and have an ordinance that specifically addresses that'll just be part of the checklist.
Shimshi, there's nothing that says that we have to, or we can require. There's nothing that says we can't.
Right.
And there in the ordinance, there is a fee that's built in. It talks about a maintenance fee, but that doesn't say, you know, when it applies, when it doesn't apply. Can the developer pay in or not? But like I said, you know, Mr. Shea and I'll work through it and we'll tie this little.
There have been any number of tries. It's kind of like a pendulum swinging. Sometimes they're too easy. Sometimes they're too difficult. Some towns used to create sinking fund amounts. You put up for a 1 acre basin, $30,000. The town goes and puts that money into an interest-bearing account, assumes that they make 4% off of it, and that $1,200 a year should pay for the maintenance of the stormwater management facility. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There are no guarantees when it comes to sinking funds.
Sort of like a sidewalk, sort of like the
It's
sidewalk
like a,
issue.
Yeah.
So I
Interesting.
think it's been bantered around a lot, not just in Jackson, but in other municipalities, for probably going on 30 years. How to do it, what to do. So sometimes it simply gets down to whether or not that individual municipality's public works department is capable of doing the work. And
I
again,
think,
that becomes
Mr.
a budgetary
Brezzi,
issue at
you
some
will be
point.
another
There-
good person to be involved.
I want
in
to
this
add to that,
discussion.
not want to say how long I'm working with these two people, prior to the 90s. And back when these basins first came into creation and nobody knew if they would work, they were questionable, the soils and everything else. There were a lot of things tried, giving it to the developer to take care of it, then the township to take care of it. We had an engineer who was certified in it. And through the years, none of that has worked. In my opinion, if it's the homeowners association just for the basin that has to do it, does not be their houses, just for the homeowners association for the basins would probably be the best way to go. And I use that term as the basin. 1 basin, 20 basins, 30 basins, don't make a difference.
Ah,
Is the maintenance cost and that stuff is horrendous, and to have it done right is expensive. So
Excellent.
some of them have been looked at a lot of years.
Mr. Shea.
okay, I'll get together with the board planner and engineer and we'll put together a memo for the board on the issue because I think Tom's River and there's one other, I forget if it's Manasquan or there's another township that has a similar ordinance that we can take a look at and come up with ideas.
Excellent. I think that's excellent. Now, before we get to the application, just two more little, oh, and Mr. Klee, Mr. Klee, I
do have
knew he
the
wasn't
floor.
finished. I knew it.
Different issue, administrative approvals and amended approvals. We deal with these after the gavel goes down, the project's been approved, they're developing, and for some reason, they want to make a change. Well, who decides if it's, you know, if this is a good change, bad change, yes or no? That kind of comes to me. And I know the board as well paid as you are, you're volunteers, and that you really shouldn't be bothered with some incidental, I want to change the pipe from concrete to plastic. That I can sign off on myself and with a great comfort level and not have to worry about some board member coming back and saying, hey, it was approved with this and you said it was okay to that. But there's different levels of these adjustments that that the applicants will propose. Usually it's cost related. We want to change it from plastic to cement. If it's private, I really don't care. And you can do what you want, but if it falls apart, don't come back to me. You're the one that said this. If it's private, if it's public, that's a whole new ballgame. But I asked Laura to put in your package tonight an approval amendment of what we approved.
Use the microphones
I'm
so
sorry.
the public can hear.
The application that the board approved, and it's being developed. And one of the approval resolution specifically called for no medical. And the reason for that, they didn't have the parking to support it. Fast forward, they adjusted some parking, and now they can support 5,100 square feet of medical. And I would have taken that and ran with that and said, fine, your parking supports it. That's, I think, the only thing the board would look at. But because it's in the resolution, that's why I wanted to bring it to the board and give them the typical letter that I would put out for one of these approval amendments or the administrative approvals. And it provides for, the board will get it. If you have any questions, give me a call within like 5 days. We get it. And I can, we'll work through it. But typically, I will not put this out if I know the board is going to have any problem, with it.
And that's why you're the professional.
Alleged.
And we have confidence in you. We have
20 years.
for 20 years.
More than that.
A lot more than that. Let's probably longer than that. So we have two more things that we're going to do, but we're going to listen to the application first. Then we will go in, then we will have each board member introduce him or herself and just say why you volunteered to be on the board or why you're sitting here and what your position is, but we don't want to take your time. And then after that, instead of going into executive session now, as we sometimes do, we're going to go into executive session at the end of the meeting so that the public and you gentlemen don't have to stick around and listen. All right, so welcome and come on up. Come on down. I believe so.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Jeffrey Donner. I'm here to represent Tyler, who is seeking a conditional use for home occupation in the R1 zone. And I will call him to the stand. Before I do call him to the stand, I wanted to mention we're looking for one waiver of the minor site plan requirement that's often associated with a conditional use. We're also looking for a design waiver not to have to put in curbing and sidewalk along the street perimeter, since there's none of that in our neighborhood. And also, we're looking for a design waiver to avoid putting in any curbing in the parking area, because it's going to be such a light use that we don't think it would really be necessary or helpful in any way. But rather than me telling you all about that, I'd like to call my client, Tyler.
Well, before you do that, I do want to ask Mr. Shea, does that mean they have to put into the sidewalk fund?
So we can waive that in certain situations. This may be one of them.
Yeah, I was out there today. There are no sidewalks.
Right.
There are no curbs and
Right.
sidewalks. So I think we can consider that. The other thing is, before we call, I'd like our professionals just to say if they have any concerns.
Thank you.
Is your microphone on? For the sake of the people at home. How many
Hear
at
me
home
now?
are watching, Anthony?
Related to the curbing and sidewalk, I don't know if the pedestrian safety fund will
Yeah.
apply to this particular application. But I would
Okay.
also agree, Madam Chair, that there was no.
Okay, is there anything else you're concerned about?
Just as a conditional use application for home occupation, We've seen one before with something to do with metalworking or whatever. Somebody just, uses his home to make home occupation. It typically doesn't generate any type of traffic. It's low impact. And as the attorney indicated, looking for a waiver of site plan, which is typical of a conditional use or required with a conditional use application. And we would support, approval of that waiver and not really need any site plan review should the board vote favorably on the application.
Thank you. Mr. Peters.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our office has a report dated November 19th of 2025. I'd ask Mr. Donner to elicit some testimony from his applicant to address the home occupation standards that are in section 244-121, and they're also on page 3 of our report. Get through that, I think we're pretty much home.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And that's exactly what I'm having Mr. McCrea here to do.
Great.
Thank you. So without further ado, I'd like to call to the stand Mr. Tyler McCrea. I'll have him use this microphone.
Good evening.
You have to be sworn in.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, please state your name and spell your last for the record.
Tyler McCrea. You said spot?
You're good.
608
Oakwood Ave.
Oakwood Ave.
Jackson, New Jersey.
Right. Thank you.
Mr. McCrea. Can you all hear me now? Okay. Mr. McCrea, are you the owner of the subject property, 608 Oakland Avenue?
Yes.
And are you also the owner of the subject home occupation business, which is before us tonight in this application?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about what the business is? I believe it's called McCrea Motor and Marine LLC. What are the services that you intend to provide with that business?
I just provide niche mechanics and stuff like that. I usually tend to focus on stuff that other people can't fix. So it's cost effective for friends, family, my customers, and I get to spend time doing what I like to do.
Okay. Now, you have a full-time occupation, though.
Correct.
Can you tell us what that is?
I work for PSC&G. I'm on the gas side of things, so I spend quite amount of time up north, 40 to 60 hours, if not more, weekly.
So, in fact, this business that we're talking about would be fair to say is a part-time business.
Correct.
In fact, how much usage or how much time and traffic, for want of a better term, are you anticipating?
It varies and kind of depends on my schedule at work. But, I can take a car to maybe three different projects, maybe in a quarter, like maximum, all depending on what's going on. But it's very, very limited with where I work.
The anticipated hours of operation are what on the new business?
I would say on your typical weekday, 4 to like 9 p.m. Weekends, maybe, 9 in the morning to 9 at night latest.
And where do you anticipate you would be performing the services for this business? Where specifically?
All inside of the garage.
Okay, now can you describe the garage that we're talking about? Is it a detached garage?
Yeah, it's a detached garage. It's a 30 by 40. Everything will be kept in there. Although the work that's going to be done is going to be in there. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
No outside storage. No storage of equipment outside the
No,
garage.
the most that it's going to be is maybe a vehicle, 1, maybe 2, like absolute maximum, but I don't see it getting there.
And in fact, do you anticipate any noise, odors, other types of detrimental impact from this business, especially on adjacent properties?
No, I think it's very manageable. Inside it's all sealed and insulated and stuff like that. So if there is any noise, it's very minor, which is very typical stuff.
Okay. Now, in terms of pickups or deliveries or things of that nature, how would that be handled to the extent that the business requires something like that?
Any deliveries I'll be picking up myself, so there will be no big freight trucks or anything crazy as far as like commercial vehicles. Yeah, and then I just have my, regular day-to-day home stuff, Amazon, normal stuff. But otherwise, nothing crazy.
Okay. And in terms of the occupants of the property, are you adding any employees besides yourself?
No, just me.
And the property, the residence is occupied by whom at this point?
Just me and my wife.
All right. And do you anticipate anybody else having to occupy the premises in order to run this business?
No, just me.
Would there be any construction or modification to the garage area or any place on the property as a result of this business?
No,
Do you anticipate any impact on fire ratings or expanding the capacity of any facility on the property or doing anything to change the existing dwelling by reason of this business?
no, not currently at this time.
Are you going to be dealing with any firearms in any fashion?
No,
Now, will you have certain used parts and
Mr. Donner, if you could
material-
use the microphone,
Sorry.
please.
will you have certain used parts and other material that gets collected in the course of providing the service, like oil or anything like that?
yeah, I try to stay away from that stuff, but in the case that I do, it'd be properly held in a canister, like a 5-gallon metal bin, and then that'll be properly disposed of at a commercial place, usually like, Tractor Supply, AutoZone, something like that.
And other than a car or two that is awaiting to be serviced, do you anticipate any kind of overnight parking that would be part of the business?
Very rare, and if I could fit it in the garage, it'll be in the garage, so it won't be outside.
Are you impacting drainage or anything like that by reason of this business?
No,
You're not adding any kind of installation or facility or impervious surface?
that's correct.
Okay. I think I've covered the various
Have you
factors.
notified your neighbors?
I've notified the 2 of the 3, just because I naturally see them when I'm out. So the third one is still, I haven't talked to, but I haven't seen an issue.
And all the neighbors were given written notice by my office, of course.
They received written notice, so they know.
Yes.
That's it. That's what I was asking.
Right.
Great. Anyone from the board have a question?
I have a couple. You mentioned maintenance for motor and marine. Are you talking boats? Boats? Dorsey Motor and Marine LLC.
Yeah, correct. I will do small boats at the house. Other stuff will be mobile and off property.
Would you be keeping boats outside in the driveway to work on them, or just bringing the engines to you?
He already has one.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's his boat.
The other thing you said, what about floor drains? Are there floor drains in that garage?
I don't believe so.
Because I mean, if you're doing this type of work, I don't think we want to see floor drains in there.
Yeah, I don't believe there's any in there.
And as far as this require a fire inspection? Are we doing work in there? I believe it require some sort of fire inspection.
Have you contacted the fire department?
I have not.
Might be a good idea. It might be something we require for the resolution.
Is that
It's going to be the outside agency approval that you're going to have to,
Yes.
Can you explain, did you build the detached garage?
No.
Was it there when you purchased the house?
Yes.
Can you explain to the board what the finish inside the detached garage is?
Inside, it's 2-inch foam insulation that's reflective all the way around.
Can you explain what, if any, utilities, gas, water, telephone, electric, sewer? to the
Only
building?
electric.
Only electric. Thank you.
Anyone else with a question?
Yes, I have a question.
Ms. Gamarza.
As far as signage goes, are you planning on putting any kind of signage on the detached garage?
No signage.
You're going to rely on that mailbox that's out front?
You get 150 square feet.
No, I don't think I need a signage right now.
It's all friends and family and
Yeah,
word of
friends,
mouth.
Family, it just, they always recommended this, so this is my start.
I just didn't know if we had any Redskins fans. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. That was actually the old owners. Yeah, that's no
The
longer
previous
there.
owner, you have to update that one then.
Yeah.
I know, I did notice you had a boat, so it would not be a boat that was any bigger than the boat you have there. It would be only
No,
a small,
that's-
like the size of a car.
Yeah, so that I won't even take as a client. That's something I would do mobile if it was something, of that size. If I could get it into the garage, it's one thing, but if it's not, I would just do it mobile.
Anyone else?
Madam Chair?
Yes, sir.
I don't think you'd want to work outside today anyway.
I'm used to it already.
Anyway, it sounds like you don't have a lot of oils and lubricants, that anything you do collect, you bring to AutoZone in deposit. So you're not doing oil changes. Is there any like machine shop equipment that
No.
you deal with?
No, so I try to refrain from the oil changes and stuff like that, and then shop equipment, the most that I have is a welder,
Okay, so there's,
but I'm not doing
there's
anything.
no cylinder head rebuilds, no cranks or anything
No,
like
no.
that?
Madam Chair, Mr. Donner, just sort of to wrap up, your client's indicating that he complies with the home occupation requirements under 244-121 of the ordinance?
That is my understanding, yes.
Okay, and reason for that is so Mr. Shea can put it in an affirmative resolution should the board act that way, and that it helps out with zoning compliance should there be an issue down the road or if and when the property is sold. Thank you.
And I did notice that when I drove down the street, there are several other of those small home-style businesses on the street. So it isn't unusual in the neighborhood.
Right, yeah, it seems as such.
Very nice. Anyone else?
Where do we stand on the fire inspections? That's going to be
Fire
required?
inspection will be outside agency and it will be required.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll look for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve this application with stipulations for the fire review and waivers that are required for passage.
I'd like to second that motion with one addition, no floor drains. I'd
No
like-
floor
No
drains.
floor drains.
Can't dig up that cement floor and put a drain in.
I'll amend my
Motion.
motion to include no floor drainage.
Good. We'll have a roll call vote, please.
Mr. Brezzi,
Yes.
Mr. Marzo,
Yes.
Mr. Heller,
Yes.
Mr. Parks,
Yes.
Mr. Rogers,
Happy to help us, small business in the township. Yes.
Ms. Santoro,
Yes.
Mr. Sullivan,
Yes.
Dr. Campbell.
Yes, we're happy to have you working in Jackson and living in Jackson. Thank
so
you.
much, members
Good
of
luck.
the board.
Good luck.
Thank you so
Really
much.
appreciate your time.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right, now we're going to have the board introduce themselves. We'll start with Mr. Rogers and just, introduce yourself and why you're volunteering.
My name is Patrick Rogers. I've been a resident since 1967. I retired recently, and it allows me the time to dedicate to township business.
Thank you. Mr. Heller.
My name is Shimshi Heller. I'm living in Jackson for the past 10 years. I've always had, I guess, a fascination with architecture and great city planning ever since I'm a child. In fact, I actually once believed I might choose as a career an architect, but that never happened, maybe unfortunately. But I've always appreciated when the opportunity arose to kind of delve deeper into this kind of work. I grabbed it because I do appreciate all of it.
Great. Thank you. Mr. Marzo.
My name is Lisa DeMarzo. I've been a resident of Jackson for 34 years, and I raised my children here. I'm an attorney as well, and I did some real estate attorney. As a real estate attorney, I was very interested in the land use aspect and wanted to give back to my community that I absolutely adore.
Thank you. Mr. Parks, our newest member.
The newbie, yes. So I've lived in Jackson for 41 years. I can still remember some of the Tiger Lady and some of the early stages, things that happened then. I've been in construction my whole life, a lot of different roles. For the last 30 years, I worked in New York City. And one of the things that really interests me with this volunteering I'm doing for this board is that I was heavily involved in a lot of the planning aspects for some of the major projects in New York, supporting land use and environmental studies. And that's really when I retired 2 years ago. After a lifelong program of earning money, I decided not to earn any money anymore, but volunteer. And that's what I've been doing.
Welcome. We're happy to have you. Mr. Sullivan.
Yes, I've lived in Jackson Township for 13 years. I came here after Hurricane Sandy. I felt at that time in my life that I wanted to give back to the community, to people, and help people that needed my assistance. And that has led me to various boards here in the township, and I am very honored to serve with all of you here on the planning board. I love the work, and I learn more each and every day.
Thank you. And also, I think it's important to understand that Mr. Sullivan has another position in town.
Yes, I'm the chairman of the rent leveling board, and I'd like to encourage everybody to come out to tomorrow's council meeting. The township will be updating our rent leveling ordinance to fall within state guidelines, and I look forward to hopefully seeing that pass and to help the residents of manufactured housing here in Jackson.
Excellent. Okay, we'll go down to that end. Mr. Brezzi.
Goes back a little how I got involved. Back in 1987, 88, there was an issue in town, and they wanted to make it that you could not own horses in town and try to zone everything out for horses. That's how I got involved in land use. I learned the municipal land use laws, and I got on my first zoning board in 1988. And then I got on the committee form of government, served on a planning board with them. Then I got off that, stayed on the planning board, went into the council form of government, wound up on the planning board, then wound up on the zoning board, and back here now. Been in town 54 years and served on the land use boards for about 40.
Thank you. Ms. Santoro.
My name is Haley Santoro. I work in the clerk's office here, and I was appointed by Mayor Kuhn for the planning board.
Thank you. I've lived in Jackson since 1970, long before many people here were born. Raised 5 children here. I've lived in 4 different homes in Jackson. And when I was having a conversation about 10, 15 years ago with Mayor Reyna, he said, wouldn't you like to be on the planning board? I've learned a tremendous amount. I appreciate my colleagues' support in electing me chair, and my entire goal is to serve the people of Jackson. Thank you, and we'll now go into executive session. So you folks are welcome to stay. I think you might like to hear what is happening. We're now closed to the public. So we need a motion to go into executive session.
This is just litigation updates.
Litigation-based executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Shut it down now, please. Thank you so much.